Only peacemakers can go to heaven, Part 8 of 9, on Between Master and Disciples, held in English.
Nếu vắng anh trên đời, cùng hàng em sẽ tới, thẫn thờ ngồi chờ trọi như chó xù chờ sương rơi.
The Buddha says, if you put down the knife, the butcher knife, you can become Buddha.
Wow.
Right away even.
Wow.
Yes, wow.
Is it true also? Many of my disciples are like that. Before, when I was running around the world giving lectures and initiation on the spot, many of them were butchers of ranches and all that, or own meat restaurants, but they just put it down, got initiation, and they could see their own Buddha nature right away. They can see God's light. They can hear God's melodious teaching right away.
Wow.
It's truly like that, the Buddha says.
Yes.
Yes, Master.
Yes.
方沙土道离科成佛, meaning if you put down your butcher's knife, you can immediately become Buddha. It's true like that.
Wow. Yeah.
I can testify to that with my own so-called disciples.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Master.
Some are even killers before and did time in jails, but also became my disciple after jail and became a preacher of truth, spreading my teaching in prison.
Wow.
He went back to prison with other disciples to preach for the prisoners.
Yes, Master.
So those who do jail time, some of them also got initiated in jail, became vegetarian and vegan. And also some practice convenient method.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Master.
Well, of course, up to the COVID time, before COVID time.
Yes.
So it is true like that. If, for example, President Putin just changed his mind, changed his heart, immediately things get better.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Master.
It's easy to have an excuse to make war, but it is for a real good gentleman to uphold peace.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, and talk with each other. It's not fun to go down in history as the mass murderers of a population.
Yes.
It's not fun to go down in history as the bloodthirsty monster
Right,
who kill women, children, and elderly alike en masse, no matter for what reason.
Yes,
Yes, Master.
I read you many Buddhist stories before. Some of the kings were harmed by their enemy kings. They give up their kingdom just for peace and went out to become nobody, either that or imprisoned by the enemy,
Yes.
just for peace, so that they don't have to make war, because in war it doesn't matter who wins. It is terrible suffering for innocent citizens.
Yes,
And then one of the kings had a son, a prince. He escaped, and later he worked for the enemy king who was still ruling his country. He was going to kill him. And then he heard his father say, that's not the way to do it. So he stopped killing. He remembered his father's and mother's teaching before they died.
Yes, Master.
So he stopped killing the king, and he even confessed that he was going to kill him, but because of his father's teaching, he's not going to kill him. So now the king could do with him what he wanted. But the king also was touched that the enemy king before was so good, so noble. So he forgave the son, the prince, the assassin prince,
Yes, Master.
Yes.
and then even gave him back his kingdom. So only love can heal.
Yes.
Yes, Master.
Only nobility can last. Only peacemakers can go to heaven. If Putin is supposed to believe in God, they have Russian Orthodox Christian faith in their country.
Yes, Master.
And I cannot believe that Putin is so ignorant of his national faith. He should remember his faith. He should remember that as you sow, so shall you reap. It's not only in Christianity, but in Islam, in Hinduism, in Buddhism, in Jainism, they all mention that.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Master.
Similar, even if they don't say as you sow, so shall you reap. But they say similar things. Let me remember one of the Muslim sayings somewhere. Okay. For example, in the Muslim faith, Al-Zalzalah. It says, I read it to you in the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful. In this stanza, it talks about an earthquake, the quake. But you have to know it is not literal.
Yes,
Master.
It's a parable for something extraordinarily destructive for humankind. In that kind of time, it is said that, probably the prophet have said that, peace be upon him, when the earth is shaken with its quake, and the earth brings out its loads, and man says, humans say, what is the matter with the earth, yeah? On that day, it will convey its tales, meaning the earth will tell her story. For your Lord will have inspired it, meaning whatever happens by earthquakes or disasters is all made because heaven ordered it,
Oh, yes,
because God inspired it, because a human's karma.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
So on that day, the people will emerge in droves to be shown their works at that time. To be shown their works, meaning their actions through all their lives.
Right,
Yes.
Master.
It's like the time of judgment, the end time.
Yes.
Yes, Master.
So whoever has done an atom's weight of good will see it. And whoever has done an atom's weight of evil will see it too.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
Master.
Yes, Master.
So that's probably the time of judgment, not just a quake.
Right, Master.
Right.
Yes, Master.
When everything comes out from the earth, it's not just a quake, everything. At the time of judgment, nobody can hide, nobody can lie, nobody can cheat. Because even if you just do one atom weight, meaning so minuscule, the tiniest possible that your eye cannot even see, even if you just done that, less than mustard seed of good, you will see yourself.
Oh,
Yes, Master.
And whoever has done just like minuscule action of evil will also be evident. Not just them see it, but everybody will see it.
Yes, that's right.
So this is a talking of karma,
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, Master.
the talk of cause and retribution, talk of as you sow, so shall you reap. It's the same thing.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
It's like the karma, the retribution in Buddhism or in Hinduism or in, we have all that on our TV anyway.
Yes, Master.
Yes.
Master.
Right. So you see, all religions point to the same thing. If you do good, you will see it and reap the reward and go to heaven. If you do bad, you will see it, reap the retribution, and go to hell.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Yes.
Master.
That's it. Very simple. So I hope Putin will wake up soon and make peace with Ukraine and take away his evil influence from those rebellious regions.
Yes, Master.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Master.
We hope
We
so.
hope so too.
Take away his inspiration for them to rebel, to be rebellious and separate from their own country and citizens and nation,
Yes,
Yes,
Right.
Master.
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 because that weakens their country. You are a citizen of Ukraine. You have to work for your country. That's your duty. And if you don't do your duty well, you will go to hell also. Not to talk about killing people or killing children because of your miscalculation of a drone attack or of a bomb attack, whatever.
Yes,
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 Master.
Master.
Because even nowadays, they don't have to do like face-to-face battle.
That's right.
They don't have to have ground combat. They can drop bombs on people. But they miscalculate also. Sometimes they don't bomb the army or the agent that they intended. They kill anybody.
Yes,
Right,
Master.
Master.
Yeah. Just like recently, they blasted a kindergarten full of children in it.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Yeah. I read on the news that the separatists in Ukraine did that.
Oh.
Oh,
The rebels did that. I don't think they deliberately wanted to kill the children. They just miscalculated.
yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
They just use computers, and it's like a war game, but it's not a game. It's real suffering. It's real human life. And just like in Afghanistan before,
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Master.
Biden say they bombed the terrorist agents. They didn't. They killed the whole family and their relatives as well,
That's right,
Yes,
Master.
Yes, Master.
including children. And America is very high-tech, sophisticatedly high-tech in war.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Master.
Yes.
That's true.
And they still can make mistakes.
Yes.
Right.
Imagine Ukraine is not very high-tech in war games.
No.
Yeah, they can't even defend themselves. They're begging the international community to help them. They say we cannot defend our own country because they have not been trained in war.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
They did not expect any war. But even if you don't expect, you should have thought about that. Like Switzerland, they never expect war. They don't want war with anybody. But all their citizens are trained in defense. So if anybody invades Switzerland, they will have a hard time.
Oh, yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
So they are trained and they drill many times. Taiwan is also like that. They have army and standby soldiers,
Yes, Master.
and they retrain them or drill them sometimes, like every year or every 3 years or something.
Yes.
Not including the new soldiers. It's different. They have army reserve. In Taiwan, you have the duty to do that.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Master.
If you are an ex-army soldier, you have to retrain now and then, right?
Yes, correct.
And all the boys, mostly the boys have to apply to be in the army for a certain time, for some time.
Yes.
I hope one day no country will ever have to train anybody to kill anybody else for whatever reason.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Master.
It's terrible. Don't take just because you can. That's what I say.
Yes.
I will use a very simple, common woman singer. Don't take them just because you can. You see, even such a simple, of course she's famous, but she's a simple woman, huh? She still can utter something good like that.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
Don't take him just because you can. Don't take any country just because you can. And I go further. Don't threaten any country just because you can.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
Nếu vắng anh trên đời chắc em đi lang thang, dù có làm tu sĩ cũng cô đơn mà thôi, cũng cô đơn mà thôi.
It is only among those tribes and nations whose general habits are simple and temperate, and who subsist on a pure vegetable and water diet, that the most perfect specimens of human symmetry and beauty are found. Reverend Sylvester Graham, vegetarian.